Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of At Home with the Willises. I am Nicci, and
I'm Jameen.
And today's topic, Black people get counseling now? Featuring therapist, the one and only Keith Stark. Let's get into it. But first, you're at home with the Willises. So before we get started, I want to remind you to make sure you subscribe. A while back, we hit 1,000 subscribers.
That's right.
And now we are growing by leaps and bounds. So, honey, if you have not subscribed, you got to go ahead and do that. So hit that button right down there somewhere. Actually, I'm over here now, so somewhere down there. And make sure you hit that bell so that you're notified every time we upload new content. But as you can see, we got a guest at the house. Mm-hmm. What's up, Keith Stark?
I am at home with the Willises.
You at home with the Willises.
I'm in the best place that I could be.
That's it.
On this, today's Tuesday.
Today,
on this Tuesday morning.
Coming out Thursday.
Yeah.
So technically it's kind of Thursday.
It's Thursday.
If you're watching now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This
Good
Thursday.
Stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Morning.
Yeah, there you go. All right. But thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Keith Stark, everybody, is a therapist. And one of the best things I love, you are a Black man therapist. So this is going to be good today.
I am.
Good today.
I am.
Let's see. So marriage and family therapist. Mm-hmm. You're also an educator.
I am.
You're also a coach.
I coach.
Like, okay, so what do you coach, though?
I coach. So I focus on relationships. Okay. And not necessarily just relationships like husband and wife, but relationships with parents and child, right? And so helping to establish strong relationships with your children, particularly teenagers. I also do some executive coaching, and so coaching employers to have better relationships with their employees. And so that is my niche, one of them. And so I also work with men. I do a lot of men's therapy, men coaching.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's been the highlight. You know, moving outside of the walls of the therapy room has become the highlight of my career.
Wow.
And so I love it.
Now, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been in therapy?
So I've been a therapist since it's been 7 years.
Wow.
7 years.
And you said you're also an educator too.
Yes. So prior to becoming a therapist, and while I was going through the process, I taught high school. I taught African American studies.
Yes.
And I taught business.
Yeah.
And so I did that for about 4 years, and once I became a therapist, I then transitioned into becoming a therapist in the school district.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
So no longer in the classroom.
Yeah.
As a teacher, but still an educator.
Wow.
That's awesome. Now, we did the coaching. We talked about coaching, but you also did some sports coaching.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm a football guy. I played football my whole life. Took me through college.
Okay. Wait, what school? What college?
Uppsala College. It was a small school. It was like 13th grade, but it was still an education attached to that. So it wasn't JUCO, but it was Division III, which was like, you know.
Now where is it?
It's D3. It's in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, East Orange, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I'm originally from New Jersey.
Really?
And so South Jersey, Camden, small little city, which I love to talk about. You know Camden?
I know Camden.
Yeah. We now know somebody in Camden.
Yeah, don't judge me.
Okay.
If you know Camden, don't judge me.
Oh, okay.
I do judge you because I scrolled your Instagram and I saw it was a nice photo, but the jersey that you had on was just terrible.
How did I know?
The ugliest green.
How did I know he was going to go there? Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Eagles.
That's what happens when your team finally wins the Super Bowl again, right? You become, people who were competitors in your league becomes your enemy. I understand.
Okay.
Anyway, I did coach football. I coached high school football at Silverado High School, where I also taught for a few years, and love coaching. But because I became a therapist, it kind of pulled me away from that coaching hat. So.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Well, we have a connection to you, Keith, because I know you can't talk about it because you remain professional. But the reason why we even wanted you on here is because we value therapy. We value counseling. And you helped our family. We found Keith Stark through Black Henderson. Shout out to Black Henderson. And we were looking for a family therapist because, hey, everybody needs tune-ups. Come on now, somebody. But, now I'm preaching. But anyway, but we found you, Keith. And from the time we came in, there was an immediate change within our family. And so I can't even go on with this podcast without telling you thank you. I mean, truly telling you thank you and just sharing with everybody how valuable you are. Having a Black man in this profession is so valuable. Just how professional you were. Like everything. It really honestly makes me a little emotional because how much our family dynamic changed after, we had you as our therapist. And I tell everybody about Keith Stark. But having you here, I can't even go on with this podcast without saying thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. There are people who come to therapy, right? And their expectation is for the therapist to do the work.
Yeah.
And one thing I love about your family is you guys did the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
External of that therapy room.
Yeah.
And that was so amazing. And it was a quick check. Right? It happened. And so I appreciate you for allowing me to be a part of your family in that phase.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So.
But one of the things though is, and another reason why we wanted to have you on this podcast is because in the African American community, therapy is still taboo. I mean, now we are making real strides. You have, people that are openly talking about feelings and mental health, being health, and all the things. Do you find now that more people are open to therapy a little bit more, or what are you seeing?
One thing about, therapy, right, and all the buzzwords attached to it, is that, like therapy is the new fad, right? Like, people think that, you're healing, you got to get your healing. They're labeling everybody a narcissist. These words are buzzwords in the therapy community.
Trauma and all that stuff. You hear that all the time.
And so you kind of cringe when you hear those words. But I'm thankful because it's a conversation.
Yes.
Where it wasn't a conversation before.
Right.
People are seeking it. Yeah. One of the highest sold books on TikTok, in a TikTok shop, was a Black male therapist who put a book out about shadow work.
Shadow work.
And it went bananas on TikTok. And so it says that people are seeking that therapy. People are seeking the help. In this country, 4% of all therapists are Black, right?
Wow.
4%.
4%?
Didn't know that
Just Black.
statistic.
That's Black men and Black women.
Wow.
Okay.
1% are Black men.
Wow.
And so when you look at the population, when you look at the trauma, when you look at our history, the generational trauma that goes all the way back to slavery, right? Yeah. When you look at all that trauma, one thing we don't realize is that, like, we need a lot more of us. Yeah. So one of the things that I strive to do is push for young Black men to go to school in mental health. And they're like, well, why should I do that? Well, believe it or not, when you start talking about, privilege, right? When you talk about white privilege and those things, right? You become you get privilege when you become a Black male therapist. For example, when you came to search me, one of the things that you saw initially was the fact that I was a Black man before I even opened my mouth, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you become privileged in this field because of, the color of your skin, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Right? You like a unicorn. 1%?
Yeah. A Black unicorn.
Yeah. You a Black.
A stallion.
Unicorn.
With a horn.
Okay.
So we immediately saw the benefit of you being a Black male therapist. But tell us about, growing up, most Black men don't say, I'm gonna be a therapist when I grow up. So what made you? What was the light bulb that went off in your head? What made you want to become a therapist? Or going from New Jersey to D3 football, whatever. What made you want to say I want to be a
D3
therapist?
was never the goal.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I just wanted to go to D1.
Right.
I thought it was in the NFL.
But some people don't make D nothing. When somebody make
Serious topic, but
I'm a joke all
Well,
the way
yeah,
through
you
this.
are. You gonna joke all the
I
way
went
through.
through this.
That's what I love about this podcast. Y'all keep watching. This is great.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
Now, if you would have picked a different team, you might have been D1.
yeah, that could be true.
49er
That could be
fan,
true.
you probably would have went D1.
I probably would have failed.
Yeah.
You know what?
D1.
Here goes two people from my high school played for the 49ers.
Really?
Yeah, two amazing people.
Okay.
They're all pro.
Look at Jameen. He's like,
Yeah,
he should have been friends with him. Look
Yeah,
at him.
right, yeah.
Hey, leave this man alone. Let him be a.
Because I bug him every time he came in. Every time he came in,
That
the
is
office, I had
true.
something to say.
It's
That
just
is
the
true.
jersey just pointed,
Yeah,
was real,
Yeah, that's all right, man.
It's okay.
Yeah, you just block that one out.
Sidetracked.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So what made me? I had no idea that I was going to be a therapist. Right. That was never the goal. But I'll tell you what happened, and I'll try not to make it a long story. I grew up in projects it's called Westfield Acre Project in Camden, New Jersey, right? And so growing up there, it was highly impoverished. My mom and I it was just me and my mom. We had very little, that's a lot of our stories, right? But one day, my mom didn't have enough for us to eat, right? So I said, Mom, why don't you call my dad, see what he can do, right? Because he was paying, I think it was $60 a month in child support, right?
Wow.
But he wasn't active. He wasn't, his $60 was enough. And so I wanted to fight him. I was 16, and I was walking to his house. Like, my mom's like, we don't have no food. We ain't got nothing, tonight, right? So I'm walking to his house, and I'm almost there. My mom is following me in the car, like, get your back here, right? And I'm like, nah, we got to talk to this dude about this.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, long story short, I get in the car. My mom takes me back home, and I'm mad because brother hungry.
Yep.
And I remember saying this. I don't remember a lot about my childhood, but I remember saying this. I stood outside and I said, when I become a man, I want to work with young people so that they don't have to go through what I've gone through.
Wow.
And I said that audibly out my mouth. And, I was talking to my mom, but she was in the house behind the screen. And that happened, right?
Yep.
Some of the things that we speak out of our mouth, the things that we speak about ourselves, the things that come out of our mouth become our reality if we allow it to.
That's
right?
true.
Whether it's good
Good
or
or
bad.
bad. That's it.
And
That's
so
it.
I spoke that. I forgot all about that. And almost 80% of the jobs that I've worked with youth, I didn't apply for.
Wow.
People were like,
They just.
keep this job, will be good for you. Hey, you want to come work for me?
Yeah.
Even when I moved to Vegas, I worked in juvenile justice back east. Working in Vegas, as soon as I came to Vegas, I was like, I'm going to go work in juvenile justice.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, hey, you'd be good for program manager for Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth.
Wow.
So, okay. I didn't apply for it. I became it.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
I give tribute at that to one, God, but two, it's what I spoke years ago.
Yes.
And what made me become a therapist was I did not want to work the groundwork like, when I worked in juvenile justice. I didn't want to be a correction officer. I didn't want to be, I didn't want to do programming on the ground level. I knew that as I got older, I wanted to mentor people who were coming up in the field. And then one of the fields that got my attention was therapy.
Yeah.
Now, small little piece, I worked in juvenile justice back east. And one of the problems that I had and one of the struggles that I had was, and I still have, is the recidivism rate among black men, African-American men in the judicial system.
Okay, you got to break that down because that's a big word.
Yes,
Not everybody
yes,
knows
yeah.
those words.
I know two big words.
Spell it.
A lot of syllables in it. and everything.
Yeah.
I know two big words. That's one.
Okay.
All right. Now
Okay,
break
you
that
go
down
ahead and
in
explain.
layman's
I think I
terms
know
for-
what you're
Yeah.
saying.
for the people.
In plain words, it is the rate in which people who are young kids or who are adjudicated or adults who are incarcerated. That was the other two words.
Yeah, adjudicated.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Adjudicated.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've used both of them now.
Yeah, they mean the same thing.
Okay.
Like adjudicated, incarcerated. Same thing. One's for juveniles, the other's for adults. So the rate in which they return back
Right.
to prison. So when I worked in juvenile justice, it was at 80%.
My goodness.
80% of the kids that went home after being locked up or adjudicated came back. Right? That number is ridiculous.
High.
It was ridiculous.
80%.
Yes. So it frustrated me so much that I was like, what's happening? What is the problem? Well, we were helping the kids, and our program was amazing. It was helping the kids, but when they went back into their system, when they went back home, it was still the same home, so they went back into the same environment, which caused them to fall back into some of the same behavior.
Of course.
So I said, what can I do to fix the recidivism rate? And don't ask me to spell it because I know it begins with an R
Okay, you used it.
and it ends with an M. Right? So how can I fix that? How can I do my part?
Yeah.
And so becoming a marriage and family therapist, the importance of that for me was the fact that it focuses on systems, right? It focuses not just on the individual, but on the family.
Yeah.
And as you know, when I provide therapy for a young man or a young woman or anyone, I love for the family to be involved.
That's right. Yes.
Because the family has to go through the change as well.
100%.
If just the child goes through the change and they don't have that support, then they're going to return back to those same behaviors.
Yes.
So to make a long story short, that's why.
That's how you got into it.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, that's
good.
awesome. Yeah, that's a perfect example of like your gift making room for you. A lot of things you didn't have to apply for, and people said you would be good for that position. That's good. I like that. What about now you said like it's people. We're seeing people being more open to being going to therapy and things like that. Now, how do you feel about like? Does this help, or do you look at these things and shake your head like a Dr. Phil, Iyanla, like these TV shows and stuff where people go, it's like a reality thing. It's like family, they sit in the house and it's couples counseling. I forget the name of the show.
Boot camp. The
Like
couples boot camp.
Nori was on there.
Yeah. Every
Marriage boot
Yeah,
camp.
does that like
Something
make you
that,
cringe?
Yeah. Well,
Is that
every
cringy, or
reality
does
show,
it help?
they hire a therapist to come in, and it doesn't. I actually watch those shows just to see, how it goes or how therapy is provided. So Dr. Phil, so let me back up. One of the things that I love about this life is you don't necessarily, a therapist does not have all the answers. If you want therapy, you can get it in multiple ways. And I'm very open to that. For some people, believe it or not, TikTok can be a great place for you to get some help, right? You just got to be mindful of where those, But now when you're talking about those deep-rooted traumas, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about when, you feeling you have some form of anxiety, depression. There's some great information in this social media world, right? So I'm not opposed to people seeking external sources. Working out, fitness really helps with mental health.
Yeah.
What you eat and how you eat. So it's more of a holistic approach. The shows, though, are really funny, right? I think that the therapists that they hire are somewhat legit.
Okay.
Dr. Phil, I think he's not a therapist.
Yeah.
However, he challenges people like in your face, and some
But
people
you don't find that problematic.
Catch me outside.
Catch me outside.
How about that?
For,
Yeah,
for entertainment. But I don't watch a lot of Dr. Phil.
Okay.
Is Dr. Phil still on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If maybe it's reruns, I don't know.
okay.
But Ayala, so she transitioned. I watched her closely when she first started. She was a wreck. Like she was destroying people. She was causing more harm than good.
She
Right?
was coming in there like a
Right.
bulldozer.
Yeah. She was
Get down on the ground and
Right.
Speaking of that hole, she hit that man like.
right. She called.
You are out of order. Everybody's like,
What's the singer's name?
oh, Tamar?
No. Oh man.
Yes, they were getting into it. That was funny too.
Anyway, she called her sister some kind of gutter snipe or something.
Yes,
like nothing
I
but a
remember that.
gutter snipe.
Gutter snipe.
Right. It's like I'm like, you can't tell people that. It's like it's not therapy. But she transitioned. You can tell that she got some additional training and some additional. And later on in her show, it became more healing than it was,
messy.
Yeah, messy and just cussing people out.
Yeah.
Without cuss words on TV.
Yeah.
She probably got a little feedback from a real therapist.
Probably.
Right. Okay. Maybe she hired somebody because they was like, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get canceled.
Right.
So again, the number one thing about TV that we have to understand is that it's entertainment first.
Right.
True.
But we take it as if it's reality. That's why reality TV gets so much credit, and people who are really involved in that become people who become a little messier in their lives, right? So you got to be mindful of what you feed yourself and what you put in. So to answer the question though, I don't mind those shows because one is entertainment.
Yeah.
Two, I want to be invited on one of those shows.
There you go. Hey, you can have your own show. I think it would be hilarious.
For real?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you should.
You know what?
There you go. Somebody. There you go. Right there. We're gonna get the pilot out.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the pilot out. But I think that's a really interesting perspective. That you said you can find help in a lot of places, in a lot of areas. Because some people don't believe in that. They think the traditional, whatever that means, route is the only route. But I like that mindset, especially with this next generation who lives on TikTok, who lives on social media, where they live and die by the truth of TikTok and all the things. But you're saying, and I mean, we use it, as a tool in, real estate and things like that. But, to think about, hey, in therapy, here are the top 3 ways that you, blah, blah, blah. That's important. That's really cool.
That's a good one.
That's good.
That's going to be my
I'm
next
just
TikTok.
glad that we're moving away from the idea of, you just pray it away and you'll be all right.
Oh man, that's a whole topic in itself.
Because that's how a lot of us grew up.
But before I move on, I do want to say those other means of therapy does not replace a therapist.
Oh, that's
right?
good.
Because
There we go.
some therapists that would listen to what I just said will be all in my box and all in send me
so
emails
true.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But I want you to realize that does not replace a therapist.
That's right.
I think along with those things, a therapist is definitely needed.
Yep.
Because one thing that those shows or the gym or swimming or whatever you do, one thing it's not going to do is get to them deep-rooted issues.
That's right.
Right?
Where you need a licensed professional therapist that can help you work through that.
Yes.
100%. My mom would amen it in a minute.
Right. I took money out my pocket and I just had to put it back.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Therapist
Like,
like,
no, not just TikTok. No, you still going to hire him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're going to do. All right? Yeah. We're going to put that below, all his information in the description below.
Where's it at? Down there?
Yeah, it's right there. Go ahead and point to it right there. So tell me, though, what is the most beneficial part of counseling people for you?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a student first. I am a student of life. I want to learn. And so every session, right, I look for something to learn out of that session. So when you guys, like that, I listen and I am motivated by the people that I see. Yeah. And so I don't care how young or how old, I always seek to learn. And there's some times when my clients will leave and I'll be in there, in my session and, I'll have an emotional moment because of what I gained from that session.
That's good.
It gives me validation for my purpose as well. Yeah. Being in the therapy room and someone says, you know what, thank you for helping me and my family. Thank you for, and it's like, man, this is where I belong. Because there's some times where, you be in the therapy room and you're like, this client is not for me and I'm not for them.
Yeah.
and you feel like,
That was my next question.
yeah,
Like,
really,
do you still have to like decompress, or like I know you're a therapist and you can't really say, but like, do you see some people be like, God, dog, like they just
I can't say. I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna just jump out there and say, bro, there's sometimes people come to therapy, and I'll be like, when I see their name on my calendar, I just be like, this is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Because some people will come and not talk and expect, and then there's parents will bring their children in, and the children are like, I don't need therapy. They do. I'm good. And so trying to help someone who don't think they need to,
help.
right?
That's right.
Or when you're doing marriage therapy and marriage counseling, when most of the time it's the husband, right? The husband's like, the only reason why I'm here because she brought me here, right? And so I'm like, oh, dang. All right, this is gonna be, this is gonna be one of those things.
Yeah.
But then you'd be like, so you don't think you need counseling? No, I'm good. Like I'm good. She got a problem. I'm straight, right? Wow. So it's like, oh, okay. Who'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up? Oh, I grew up, and how did that work? How was your childhood? Oh, my childhood was okay. We had our problems, but we good. I learned to put it in my back, and I'm good. I'm going to deal with it, right?
Wow.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
Like halfway through the session, the dude is in there like, did my mom? Yeah, I aim for that. When I hear a man say, like, oh, no, I'm good. I don't need therapy.
Yeah.
She brought me here, right? When I see her that, I'd be like, I'm about to buckle up.
Get that tissue box.
Yeah.
Go
Really?
ahead, keep talking.
So really, that's what you think. Okay, let's talk about it.
Wow.
So yeah, it's very challenging. But to answer the question where you were going, decompressing is a huge thing, like a must. Mm-hmm. If you have a therapist that don't have a therapist, run.
Ooh.
Okay.
Right? That's one. That's not your therapist.
That was
Sure.
Right?
major key right there.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
throw out
that's-
a bar.
Yeah. Run. Take.
Yep.
Two, be careful, and I know behavioral health companies do this, and I'm not knocking the work that behavioral health companies do because they do great work in our communities, right? However, if you have a therapist who sees 8 clients a day, right?
Yeah.
They're overloaded.
Okay.
That's too much, right?
Okay.
So those are things you want to ask your therapist. How many clients do you see in a day? What is your schedule like?
That's good.
What is your self-care like? If
That's
they can't
good.
take care of themselves, they can't take care of you.
Okay.
Right? They're overloaded and they're empty. And so self-care is one of mine. I'll use self-care for anything, and so that's really important for me. So my Fridays is not for no one else. The only people that can have a part of my Fridays are people that I allow in, and they become part of my self-care.
That's good.
So if I go out and I hang out somewhere, and they come with me, if it's good conversation where it's, not being selfish, but where we can be building for each other, but I'm getting something out of it just on that Friday, it needs to be something where I'm being poured into.
That's good.
Right?
So
So
good.
the barbershop is a great place. It's where I go on Fridays.
Yeah.
I'll get a pedicure.
Yep.
I'll, massage, whatever, just to take care of me so that when Saturday comes, Saturday is my big therapy day, I'm full.
Yeah.
I'm full, and then it can last me through the week, and then by Friday, I'm ready to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That is wise. That's wise for anybody. I love that.
I need to take a self-care day, but
Yeah.
Oh,
I
don't you
understand.
dare.
I
Don't you start. Listen, we finna need.
Marriage counseling.
We go, yeah, we
Right
finna
now.
need Key Start right
on the
now.
spot.
yeah, I think that any type of professional is good to like
Yeah,
decompress,
so true.
and it's really hard for us a lot of times. It's hard for us to turn it off because we work together, we both do real estate, and then it's like she'll be telling me about her experience with a client or something. I'm like, I'm not the client. You don't have to, yell at me. But we have to. That's like a mental health thing that we probably need to like decompress because it's like, oh my gosh, another one of my properties got broken into, and I'm telling her, she's like, which one do we need to go?
I'm ready to pull up.
Right, you're right.
I'm ready to pull up.
Or
You see
this
what I mean?
person, they don't want to write a contract because the carpet is blue or something like that. So I think it's good that whatever profession, especially your profession for sure, but to decompress, especially when it's hard to like, there's no oh, we're off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
A lot of
right.
times when you're an entrepreneur or self-employed,
Yeah.
there's no off
Yes,
button.
right.
It's seldomly off. So I think that. it'd
Well,
be good
you
to
know
do.
what? It's okay to say, you know what? For this next hour, at least, I'm off. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever problems existed at 1 o'clock, it's okay if it's there at 2:30.
That's
right.
true.
Like, and you deal with it then. But without you taking off, right? That weight becomes so heavy, and because you guys do it together, work impacts marriage. And so instead of allowing that, it's important to take time, even if it's 5 minutes. You know what, babe? I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna just zone up for a little bit. I'm gonna put something in my ear. I'm gonna watch TV. I'm gonna, I might do 3 push-ups, whatever. You know what I mean?
I could do more than 3 push-ups.
Well,
Keith.
I was talking about what I do.
Okay. All right.
I wasn't doubting you.
I'm 8 solid.
Yeah,
8.
8. Well, 8 push-ups.
Yes,
tough.
babe.
He getting
That's
it in.
my man. I'm gonna stick beside him.
I don't want no problems. So you're right, man. It's important in every profession, regardless of what you do. If your work is heavy and taxing, you need to take some time to take care of yourself. You can't take care of nobody else until you take care of yourself first.
That's true.
Right?
That's the word.
Selfishness is not a negative thing. Right? There are seasons in which you have to be selfish and focus on you. We use selfish, that word selfish is such a bad thing, but it's not. I have to take, on my Fridays, I am selfish and I love it.
That's good.
Now, if my kids were to say, Dad, hey, I need, boom, I'm on it.
Right.
If I commit to something, or if I go somewhere, boom, I'm on it. But there will be another day,
Yeah,
whether it's Saturday or Sunday, where I will focus on my self-care.
that's good.
Yeah, that's what I had to learn that late in
consistency.
life, because you think like when you're a father or you get married and stuff, it's like, okay, it's all about my family now, and then you just do and do and do and give and give and give. But you start thinking like, wait a minute, if I'm not my best self, then I can't be the best father or the best
Yes,
husband and
bingo.
stuff like that. But you think that you think it's like a guilt thing. You feel like you're doing something wrong
Yeah.
if you focus on yourself or you spend time on yourself, or like, oh, I should be working instead of doing something that I enjoy, or like I gotta earn
The right to relax.
self-care.
Yeah,
The right
yeah.
to relax
Yeah.
and things like that. But it actually helps you to work better, to be
Yeah.
a better father, be a better husband when you take that time.
Look at
to
Keith
give
Stark
yourself-
out here just breakthroughs.
Listen,
Man.
I'm like,
Look
you
at
see
this
this free
breakthrough.
session out here?
Woo!
Keith Stark's like, grab the tissue. Keep talking.
Yeah. Tissue
Just
box.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, but that's key. Like, people don't understand that, right? It's like that airplane mentality, right? When you get on the airplane, one of the first things when they telling you what to do and they doing all this sign language,
Yep.
like, I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do get is when they say, take your mask
mask on.
and put it on yourself first.
First.
And then you can, because if you don't put your mask on first, they don't talk about this part.
Yeah.
If you don't put your mask on first, what'll happen is you'll start to struggle to breathe. And then when you struggle to breathe, it's going to be very, very hard to put it on someone else, and you both die.
Yeah.
Right. And so when we don't take care of ourselves, what happens is we're killing ourselves, and not only that, but we're spilling what's inside of us onto our loved ones. And so we both in a spiritual realm die, as opposed to, you know what, I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna focus on my health. I'm gonna focus on my mental health, my physical health, and I'm gonna take care of my family. I'm gonna make sure I have enough to pour out. And that's not talked about. As people, as definitely people of color, Black people, we're conditioned to take care of other people first. We're conditioned to sacrifice.
Yeah.
We're conditioned to be the Harriet Tubman in our family, right?
That part.
And we don't have to be Harriet Tubman, because Harriet Tubman was Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Right? That was her vision, her path. And so for us, because of the people of our past that made ways for us,
Right.
we can now be who we are
Yes.
and be successful. Now, I'm not saying we can't go back and get somebody else, but
Sure.
we have to make sure our tank is filled first.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I think that's just such a good point, because you do see, and I've said this before, people just barely coming out of what they've been through, and then they want to turn around and start helping somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, take care of you first. Make sure you are good. What they say, like, trying to help from your wounds, not from your scars. Like, take care of you first. Make sure you are good. Make sure you are settled. Make sure you are safe. And then you can always go back and help somebody else. But, you know, just coming right out of, you know, what you've been through, your trauma, all the things, and you still have open wounds, you're not going to be able to help people.
Can't do it.
You can't do it.
You can,
You're
but
not
you're
gonna
going to
be
give
able
them
to-
what's inside of you.
Exactly. You're going to bleed out on them.
That's right. You know, I talked earlier about social media, and, you know, I have a small presence, but I have a presence on TikTok. Right?
Okay.
I love
But
TikTok.
what's your TikTok?
Keith the Therapist.
Keith the
Okay.
Therapist.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that's in
I
there.
gotta get on the
Follow.
TikTok. I didn't know they had TikTok books with
Okay.
people.
The fact
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
the TikTok
said
shop.
the TikTok,
He said the TikTok.
he said,
the TikTok,
And,
like the
and he's
Twitter,
younger than me.
like the Twitter.
He said
yeah, the
X
Twitter.
now.
I got to.
But see, that's hope for me. So
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah. I
you're
know you-
on there, then I can be on there. I
He also
forget
uses
about
the word jiggy.
Yeah.
So we're just
Oh,
kinda,
you get jiggy with it.
Yeah, see,
Will
he
Smith.
gets it. See,
I wouldn't say it,
I'm
but
over
just
here on the island by myself. Over
come over here and hang out on the island with you.
Yeah, man.
Now it might be funny because I'm gonna laugh at you, but we're gonna be on that island and enjoying it.
Yeah,
On the
get
TikTok.
jiggy with it. They laugh at me because I use the word jiggy.
No, but like
Keith
descriptively,
the-
he's like, no, I
Yeah.
need you to take this and make it jiggy.
Jiggy.
Make it
And I'm like,
jiggy.
all
Yeah,
right,
make it
what,
jiggy.
what,
we're,
what am I
we
supposed to do
all
with
were
it?
just like,
How do you do that?
we don't
Do you
even
remember?
know. We don't even know how to make it jiggy. But the
You,
TikTok,
you know.
Yeah.
you can follow
Make
Keith.
it jiggy.
Yeah.
Keith the Therapist
Yeah. Yeah.
on TikTok. I love that. Okay, continue. I
So
don't know what
so I love how we went all the way over there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But we brought it back.
Yeah, we
This is
always
fun.
bring it
We'll
back.
bring it
My
back. We'll bring it back.
ADHD is so happy. Yeah. So I went live on TikTok maybe less than a week ago, and I talked about being mindful of the people you allow to pour into your life, right? In the coaching world, there are no governing boards, right? You can get a certificate. You don't have to get a certificate.
Wow, everybody just
It's
like
like being a
coach
home
Yeah.
inspector with real
Right.
estate. You just
Right.
you get a screwdriver and a flashlight and
Right.
a clipboard. Boom.
Well, right, there
Home
you go.
inspector.
Yeah, call me inspector. Right. So there are people that wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I want to be a coach, and they can by that evening start operating as a coach.
Yeah.
The issue that I see is there are people who bring their own hurt and pain to their coaching career, and so what they give out.
Oh, that's just, she's yelling at somebody out there.
What they give out, they have a big dog that attacked me because I have
Nyla
khakis.
is only 10 pounds and she didn't like your pants. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna wear them again. I heard dogs bark when I was outside, so I thought maybe that was for me too.
Oh no.
Because I had on khakis.
No.
Never wear those khakis. I'm sorry.
I won't wear them again. Navy blue ones. Can I wear the navy blue ones?
Navy blue is
Yeah,
probably
it's
blue.
more slack.
Yeah.
It's more in this slackish.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She liked the socks though. I promise.
That's
she
what
liked
that's
the
what
socks.
caused her to stop.
Yep.
At first, I thought she was like humping my leg, but she was really like. I didn't know what to expect.
She's a rescue. What can we
Yeah.
say? She needs therapy. My
I
dog
need-
does
yes,
need therapy.
yes.
That
You do
is true.
dog therapy? Is
I-
there a such
I-
thing as dog therapy?
Okay, here goes something that people didn't know about me. I am good with so I went to school for massage therapy years ago, and I wanted to work with athletes, and I had an opportunity to do so with professional athletes, and so
Not like Deshaun Watson. It's not. Okay. Okay. All right.
Well,
Go ahead. Continue.
not in
No
Philadelphia.
idea what
In
you're talking about.
Okay. All right.
So
No idea what we're talking about.
football.
Oh,
That was
okay.
football.
That's fine.
That was a Philadelphia Eagle, one of the greats.
Oh, got it.
Anyway, I learned the art of doggy massages, and so that puts him to sleep.
Oh God! Don't tell her that. Now she gonna say Nyla need to get dog massage.
Yeah. I'm not doing that because I have definitely not with khakis on.
Yeah. She probably does need a massage. She's probably
Oh, see, I told you to dog. That I was like, oh
You
gosh,
can find
here
them
we
on
go.
TikTok.
right. I do doggy massages, $19.99. So,
stress. Okay.
so
I have no idea where we're at.
yeah, I know where you're at.
Okay.
I'm good. I think.
Okay.
So I was talking about on the live about people allowing people to pour into you out of their pain, right?
Yes.
You want to, when you get a therapist, when you get a coach, it's extremely important that you interview them to find out where they are one, as individuals, as people, and then as a therapist, right?
Yeah.
And so, and what prompted me to do so was I was just scrolling on TikTok one day, and there was two coaches on there, and their conversation was so crazy, but they were promoting their coaching business.
Wow.
And they were like, they made a comment about, it's not about your thoughts, it's about how you feel, right? And so it's about how you feel is what you have to follow your feeling, and okay, I can see that, but in therapy, cognitive behavior therapy says that your thoughts dictate your feelings, which dictate your behaviors.
Yeah.
So, not that CBT model is the end all be all.
Sure.
However, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
If you can, whatever you think, it will dictate how you feel,
Right.
and then it will produce the behavior that follows.
Yes.
Right?
And you can change your mind.
And if you
Right.
change your thought, you change your emotion,
Yeah.
which then changes your behavior and how you respond to it. So they were like, no, your thoughts don't matter. Just whatever you feel, go with it. Right.
My goodness.
And so
a lot of
that's
people
okay.
doing that nowadays.
Yeah. So I was like, man, this is horrible information that you're giving people.
Yeah.
Like forget logic. Just go with
Go
your
with
emotion,
go how you
right?
feel.
Whatever makes sense, don't worry about it. If you don't feel it, go with something else.
Ooh, that's
And so that I was like,
dangerous.
man. So it just had me to think about, and it pushed me to do a live talking about, just watching the people you allow to pour into your life. So
that's good.
I wanted to create a stronger presence on TikTok for everybody, but specifically for people that look like us.
That's right.
I'm
That's
getting
right.
on that TikTok now. You inspire me because I want to check your lives out.
Yeah. You get on.
No,
he's gonna get
no,
on
that
TikTok.
TikTok.
the TikTok. I'm gonna just call it the TikTok
Yeah,
from now on
buddy.
because I like that one better.
Okay, so all right, so we're gonna check you out on the TikTok,
Yeah.
the lives. So I got
No, that's great.
one last question. So what do you say to the people who feel like therapy is only for people who feel like they're going crazy or they have like major problems in their life? So
Rage, that type of thing.
yeah, because like now,
Extreme.
me, when I was my younger self, I used to think that, but when I actually got therapy for myself, I saw the benefits of it, and then I was like, wait, this is not just for people who feel like they just got a major crisis in their life, but a lot of people. What do you say to those people who feel like, oh, that's for people who like really messed up? You know what I mean? Because what we like to do is we like to point people in the right direction as far as recommendations, things that we recommend that people try or do. So what would you say for those people who think that therapy is only for people who feel like they're going crazy or they got a major problem in their life?
Well, that's a loaded question, right? There's a lot to answer with that. So, we as Black people, like, if something is mentally wrong with us, we're crazy. Or we're having some struggles mentally, that means we're crazy, right? And back in the day, there was no therapy. You just knew that Uncle Charlie, just stood on the corner and talked to himself.
Right.
Right? We knew that. We knew that everybody, people tease Uncle Charlie, but we, don't mess with my Uncle Charlie. That's
with
my
him.
uncle.
Yeah.
He wasn't even your uncle, but he,
Right.
I actually had one. I have one, and my family will see this, right? I had an Uncle Rixie, right? And he would stand out in direct traffic.
Wow.
And it was clear that he had mental health issues, right? But everybody knew him.
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood knew him, and he was married to my grandfather's sister, so that's how he became my uncle. And he'd stand outside in direct traffic, and everybody would wave, and he waved to you if he knew you was in the neighborhood, or if you were Black, right? If you were white, he'd probably direct you to go somewhere else. But he had, I think, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. But it was just, that's Uncle Rixie. We never got help for Uncle Rixie, right? Because there was no help. And so people, definitely us, man, we relate mental health challenges or mental health issues or mental illnesses to some form of diagnosis, right? And it's not, everybody doesn't have a diagnosis. Everybody's not depressed. Everybody don't have anxiety. Everybody don't have schizophrenia. Everybody aren't bipolar. They don't have bipolar disorders, right? Some people just need to go to therapy to get another view, to get the block out the way so that they can achieve the next goal. Some people just need to understand, why do I respond and react every time people say this? Why am I triggered? Why do I have all of this heaviness about certain topics and certain things? Sometimes you just need to go back a little to clear that block so that you can move forward, right? And it's not necessarily a mental health issue. It's just that you're having a struggle, or you're having a difficulty that you just want to overcome.
Yeah.
It's also good for getting another opinion, getting an unbiased opinion. Well, let me not say opinion, because opinion is not it. Getting another side to it so that you can overcome where you are. Period. Period. So everyone, and I'm glad you brought up that question, because you don't necessarily have to have a mental health issue. As a matter of fact, a lot of therapists don't diagnose at all. Excuse me. I don't diagnose. Even if I see something, I might say, you know what, your child may have some ADHD challenges. Maybe have you thought about autism, whether they're on the spectrum or not? And maybe you want to go get that checked, external of what we're doing in here, right? Because a lot of therapists don't diagnose. And then a lot of behavioral health companies, if you're under your insurance, and this is what a lot of people don't know, if you get seen under your insurance, most likely, not in all cases, but most likely, your insurance company needs to see a diagnosis on that document in order to pay for your right.
Yeah.
So what happens is you automatically get diagnosed regardless of if you have one or not in a lot of places. So people won't say,
right, the business side of it, yeah.
People won't say, you know what?
That's messed up.
You're not. You don't fit. You don't fit our company. You don't have a diagnosis, so you can go. No, that's green, right? So when you come in, you're going to have a diagnosis from the door. So when you go to a behavioral health company, or when you go to a company that takes your insurance, chances are you're going to get some kind of diagnosis, whether you have one or not.
And that's where the misdiagnosis comes into play.
That's
they
the
treat
point.
you for something that you don't even necessarily have.
So now you need to go see a psych so you can get medicine for depression, but you're not depressed. You're just going through grief, which is a more situational depression. You don't need medication.
Yeah.
You just need to know, how do I work through this?
Yeah.
And so, people are misdiagnosed and, and mismedicated. Is that the word? Is that how I want to say that?
Over-medicated.
Over-medicated or given medication when you don't need it, right?
Yeah.
And so, you really have to be mindful and be careful of that. But, everybody doesn't do that. Every behavioral health company don't diagnose, but there are a lot out there that do.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. So good.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to.
This is good.
All right, I got one last question. I promise we're gonna talk about current events or something light, maybe possibly funny. So it seems to me that, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people that I talk to, and even my personal experience, a lot of the feeling like you need therapy or needing therapy comes from, and that's why I appreciate what you specialize in and what you do a lot, because it seems like a lot of our trauma comes from, this is at least my personal experience, is childhood. So it was like, I need therapy because of what I went through in my childhood more than being an adult, but all the trauma and stuff that I went through from being a child carried over to me being an adult, which resulted in me getting to the point where I felt like I needed therapy. But a lot of people that I talk to get therapy, it's like they always bring up, when they go in therapy, they bring up something that happened like when they were a child or when they were a teenager or something like that.
One thing we have to understand about traumatic events, it could be anything. It could have happened. A lot of traumatic events occur in your childhood because, that's when you're more impressionable. That's when you're young. That's when you're more vulnerable, right? So a lot of things happen in your childhood that carries on into your adulthood. It molds how you behave. It molds your personality.
Yeah.
It molds how you think. So it's hard to go back and attack those things so that you can move forward. A lot of us move and operate not knowing that a lot of things that we do is a trauma response to our childhood, right? But trauma can be anything, right? You could have witnessed a car accident in your adulthood, and that could create a traumatic event in your brain. And so anything could be. If I pick up a cup and I drop the cup by accident, and that can trigger your brain to say, trauma, right? So when we look at trauma, we look at these big things. We look at, somebody being sexually assaulted as a child, abused as a child, all these different things. And the reality is trauma has different faces and is very, very broad. What's crazy now, and I think this is going off the topic, but because of it being such a conversation now, people look for trauma. I was traumatized, or they create traumas, right?
Yes.
My dad,
it's a badge of honor. Or
yeah. Oh, my dad wasn't a good dad. My dad wasn't there. No, you was just, you were cutting school. He was trying to be the best dad he could be, and you didn't like it, so you left. So now all of a sudden you're traumatized because your dad was putting his foot down, right? Or your mom was putting it. So we create these traumas. A lot of people create traumas, but the reality is trauma can be anything. So. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah. Well, I was talking about how a lot of people, the need for therapy stems from like a traumatic event or something that happened in your childhood.
Right.
Versus more than an adult. Yeah.
So so for a lot of people going through a divorce, right, is a traumatic event. Losing a loved one can be a traumatic event. Losing your dog can be a traumatic event.
I can't imagine losing my Nyla. I'm telling you right now. I can't even.
Well, when she bit me, you was close.
Okay, my dog did not. She just didn't like the pants.
She
liked the socks. She didn't like the pants. She did not bite. She did not bite him.
I think she liked my shoes too.
Well, but I think especially for the African American community, just knowing that it doesn't take a traumatic event. It doesn't take the need for a diagnosis or anything like that to seek therapy, to seek professional counsel, to get someone who is a licensed professional therapist. I always like to say that, to help you through just a dark time, or a troubled time. And, you don't have to be crazy or suicidal to finally seek help. It really can just be, hey, you know what? I need a tune-up.
Yeah.
Or the marriage needs a tune-up. Or, we've had a big move. The family needs a tune-up.
Teenagers.
Teenagers.
Teenagers, they start wilding out.
They need a tune-up. And that's okay. And one of the things that I have liked that Jameen and I have done is that's what we decided to do in our household. It's not a taboo subject to say, you know what, we get therapy, and hey, we're gonna let everybody know, like we do therapy in this house. We go and seek licensed professional therapists in this house so that our children don't have to be embarrassed if they're going through a dark time, because dark times will happen. And when they become adults, and when they become, if they decide to get married, and if they decide to have children, that is broken for them. That they can say, hey, we're going as a family, or I'm going to go seek counseling for myself. And so, thank you so much for just sharing everything that you share. We got a few current events because we'd like to get your input. But
we're going to put your information in the comments. So if you are interested in
over there.
receiving therapy in the Las Vegas area, and people can do online.
Zoom.
Zoom. Okay.
Zoom.
They don't have to be local either.
It don't. Yes.
Okay.
So my license is currently for
Nevada. Okay.
However, my coaching is for
all.
Anybody.
All right. Global.
Well,
So
yeah.
you-
International.
International.
That's global.
That's global.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, recidivism.
Recidivism.
Global, international. You know what I'm
We
saying?
on something
We good.
today. This is an academic setting right here. Like,
Big words over here.
The TikTok.
The TikTok. We got it all.
pretty silly.
We got,
The TikTok.
we got it all. So coaching, you know, international. You're global on that for licensed therapy, licensed in Nevada.
Yeah.
So listen, here is a black male therapist, and that was one of the things I got to say this. For us, we asked, or I had asked, and I think you did too. We had asked for people to give us some recommendations, and you came up so many times. Now, people that didn't look like us were also recommended, but we wanted somebody that looked like us.
Yeah. Simple.
And so that's why we wanted to have you on, because here is a black man that looks like my husband, that looks like my son, that, you know, also has similar experiences that we have. That's important. That's so important. And I had gotten some other recommendations, and I'm like, no, ma'am, we will not be using you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I wanted somebody that looked like me. That's important for us in our family. That was important to us. And so if that's important to you, you live here. I mean, obviously also having somebody that's licensed, that's professional, all the things, go ahead and click that information below. Follow him on TikTok, all the things.
Instagram,
And,
TikTok.
Instagram, the TikTok, follow him,
The
follow
X.
him, the X.
The X.
And
Formerly known
we
as the
highly
Twitter.
recommend. We highly
Yeah.
recommend Keith Stark. But current events say
Here we go.
that South Carolina won
Yo, listen.
over Clark and the Hawkeyes. I like the fact that it was over 18 million viewers.
Listen,
For that game.
something different.
Man,
I can't even tell you what's happening in men's the NCAA basketball.
that's what
I've been so focused on women's basketball.
It-
And I'm gonna
yes.
tell you why. You're gonna like this.
Okay.
Dawn Staley.
yes. Coach Dawn.
She's a Philly chick. Right?
She is.
You know, she went to Temple University.
Yep.
Her brother Deuce Staley.
Oh,
I didn't.
He played for the Eagles.
I did not correlate.
And he
Oh,
also
wow.
coached for the Eagles.
really?
Okay.
And also a Philly alum. So, you know, my city is right
It's all
outside
up
of
in the
Philly,
family.
so I love the city of brotherly love.
Yeah.
But so I followed Dawn and Deuce, you know, from college, and
I
so
did not know they were related.
I'm very proud of them.
Yes.
I'm gonna have a South Carolina shirt on this summer for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come
Well,
on.
we are season ticket holders of the Las Vegas Aces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I got introduced into women's basketball. So I watched the women.
Sure did.
I didn't watch the men at all.
Yeah.
I haven't watched men's college since like the 90s with UNLV running Rebels
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Michigan
me too.
and
Yeah.
all that. But I really enjoy watching Caitlin Clark and LSU and
Yeah.
South Carolina. So
Angel Reese, they're going to the draft.
Yeah.
Angel Reese. and
But-
I saw that the Aces are gonna have a couple of games at the bigger
T-Mobile
arena,
Arena?
just because they're
Yes.
selling out
They're
so
selling
well.
out.
They sold out their season tickets this year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
So
Sold
here,
out their season tickets.
here at home with the Willises, we focus on the economics of things.
Yes.
So so 18.7 million viewers, and it became the most viewed women's basketball game of all time.
Wow.
So that raises the bar when Caitlin goes to the WNBA.
Right.
That's why they had to move the venue to a bigger venue, because the Indiana Fever, I gave those tickets away. I didn't even go to those
Wow.
games.
Yeah.
But now I'm not
You'll
giving
be there.
away
Yeah.
those
We're
Right.
games.
going to that.
Right.
I'm
We're
gonna
going
be
to go
at
watch.
those games, so that's gonna help with the WNBA players getting paid more money
I
on
love
their
that.
contract.
I love that
Right.
for them.
Right.
They're gonna be on TV more,
Yeah.
more endorsement
exposure.
deals. So yeah, it's good for the sport, and it's good for women's basketball. So they said 24 million viewers. It was the most watched basketball game at any level since 2019.
Yeah.
That's
it
crazy.
peaked at 24 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
But on average, 18.7 million viewers. That's incredible. I
Yeah.
love that. And I love that we're seeing history being made right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just amazing to me, and even just for women, period, in this country who, it's been a fight,
Yep.
for women to even be considered equal on the job, to be considered equal to men for all sorts of issues and reasons.
For sure.
But seeing women's basketball being a staple and being able to, advance above what we thought was average.
Yeah.
It's so amazing, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Even from the broadcasting too, it's been fun
Yes.
watching the broadcasting on ESPN.
Yeah.
You're saying black women at the table who are just as skilled in stats and
Yep.
everything else and running the conversation. And to see them give accolades to each other, I mean, it has really been just heartwarming and empowering to see. Like I said, history being made.
So true.
This is gonna be.
I look at it as a little bit of a threat too,
Why?
because as we all know, if you go back and listen to the previous podcast, I'm a big Asia Wilson fan.
Oh,
Everybody
Lord.
knows that she came. Where did she come from? Carolina, right? So it's a threat because you got the women are already beautiful. So you got beautiful women, and you combine basketball. It's like, what am I look at men's basketball for when I can watch Asia Wilson and
Yeah.
Plum and all, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a
Kevin
threat.
Durant don't look as
You
cute
know,
as Asian. I'm
the
just gonna say
brother,
that.
you don't even comb his head.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
Bad on the eyes.
And the knees
but-
are ugly.
His
The knees are ugly.
Strays right now.
Yeah.
That's so
No, but that's if you combine that because and you thought before like, oh, okay, yeah, I watched the WNBA, but they took me for Father's Day. That was my first WNBA game.
Aces.
all of us.
We went to the aquarium, and the aquarium here is real small.
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
get to it in like 15
Sharks
minutes.
Reef. Shark
Yeah.
Reef.
Yeah, so we was like, okay, what we
Yeah.
gonna do now? We went through
Very
the whole thing.
embarrassed.
I tripped through the front door and landed on the back.
That's it. That's it.
I saw 2 sharks and I was out.
Yeah, my daughter said, "Mom, should we go back again?" I said, "I have no idea. I have no
Oh, man,
idea."
10 minutes.
Yeah. So we was like, "Oh, there's a game. Let's go to an Aces game," and that's how we stumbled
Oh,
across
you
the
serious?
Aces.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So we went to
and
the Aces
and
game?
if we could have picked any seat in there, just about,
It was empty.
it was empty.
Yeah.
Like it was not a lot of people there. It was a Sunday afternoon. It was Father's Day, but you did have, but the people that were there, diehard Aces fans.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
Die
good
hard.
time. I mean, they
Yeah.
play music the whole
great
entire
time.
game.
Yeah, I've been to a game.
And now
Yeah,
that
we're
you
gonna hook
see
you.
the
We're gonna
arena.
hook you up with it.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah,
get you-
yeah, for sure. But now that we go, it is. You see, it's packed in there.
Yeah.
You see the everybody yelling Aces and like there's just the whole culture and
the stars come out
it's
too.
amazing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got
They there.
all the actors and
Yeah.
the sports
Yeah,
players.
it's
and
fun.
people
It's
in
a
the NFL.
good time.
It's
We even
crazy.
got Jen out to an Aces
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Jen?
When Jen
did you
enjoyed
like
the
it?
sports
Yeah,
event, you know it's a good time when
Hey,
Jen
listen,
enjoyed herself.
Vegas, man, exploded with the Aces. I mean, the Knights, they had a huge following.
Sure.
The Raiders was great, for the city. But the Aces?
The Aces.
And then like back-to-back champions. You know what I mean?
Back-to-back
Like and,
champs.
and then they've been to so the noise, they're making noise in the city.
Yeah, I'm
And so
representing
I
the
love it.
Aces in my pageant. That's
Yeah.
my
Yeah?
I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
the
yeah.
Aces. Yep, I sure am.
All right, moving on,
Very
people.
huge
Let's
fan.
move on. So this is not a little bit light. So this was a little crazy. So a Las Vegas attorney said he's standing on business. So there was an attorney who got shot. I didn't know he was like a prominent attorney. So in Summerlin, there was a custody hearing, and it was like family drama. So a newly married attorney, him and his wife was shot and killed, but the other side of the family, so the custody battle, the father of the other person was the attorney, and he shot and killed the
Oh, wow.
other attorney, and then killed himself in the deposition.
I didn't know they were all lawyers.
They were all
Yeah,
lawyers?
yeah, they were all lawyers. The wife wasn't a lawyer.
Right.
And wife.
They're a team.
And then the non-custodial father's dad.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, so he said, you ain't gonna do this to my people. So the Prince Law Group was over in the Summerlin area. So that was crazy because the gunman, Joe Houston, the gunman, he killed those two, shoot everybody else out the courtroom, and then shot himself. But that's scary because I'm thinking you're in a courtroom, but this was just in the law office, and there's no like checks and balances for stuff like that. And a lot of times we kind of put a whole lot of trust in the ORs, the doctors and lawyers. You think, oh, a lawyer wouldn't do something like that. For me, that's like a scary situation. You know what I mean? You think you go into a custody battle and it's already heated, and there's some like what you call it, like not in real estate we call it like an arm's length transaction, but like people are related. There should have been I feel like there should have been some checks and balances because it's like this side of the family, their dad is the attorney, and this person is the attorney. I felt like there should have been some
like conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict of interest.
Sure.
That's what I was trying to
For
say.
sure.
But yeah, that was kind of wild. That was something like.
Did you hear about the earthquake in New Jersey?
Yes.
Did you have family members that felt it?
That felt it. I had some family members that felt it, but no one was injured. Of course.
Okay.
But that was very, very odd to hear about an earthquake
In New Jersey,
in New
4.5,
Jersey,
right?
Right.
Because it's not
That's
common
insane.
on the East Coast. I was reading.
Yeah.
The earthquakes are not common on the East Coast.
Right. Not at all.
You know, I felt the tremors when I first moved here. I was sleeping on the couch, and I thought like one of the kids was like pushing on the couch, and then I saw the lights swaying back and forth, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" It's just like, but it was in like California, but we can feel it here. But earthquakes in California are pretty common, right, Jen?
Yeah.
Very common.
No, thank you.
Have you ever lived through a like a earthquake, Jen?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
all the
has she
time,
lived
like
through
every-
it? Yes, she definitely has
I'm
lived through
thankful
it.
that if she didn't live through it, I don't know who that is sitting over there.
Right.
The ghost of
Like
Jen.
you'll have a small earthquake, every couple of months, and you look up and like, oh, everybody good? Okay, as long as nothing
Wow.
fell. But
I
there
would
were
freak out.
Lord.
there
Right,
were
yeah.
some times in like I remember 1992 we had a really bad one.
Yeah, I
Where
remember that.
like buildings were broken and that type of thing.
So you just
But-
went outside and was like, my bike is gone.
My bike.
It went down a crack.
My bike.
So
Wow.
every now and again you'll get a big one. But for the most part, we just used to it. They do the earthquake drills in school. And
What does that entail?
Because
What
we would
does
have
that look
tornado
like?
drill in the Midwest. We would have tornado
We have tornado drills
drills.
where they take us to the basement and make us do like
Cover.
this.
That was
Well,
the
see,
dumbest
That
thing
was
in
so
the
dumb.
world.
Yeah. Okay.
so at least not in schools.
What do you? So
you crawl under the table and you
crawl under
put
the
your
table, yeah.
you put your head under your arms. And that was it.
You know what?
So I don't know why those little
Adults
tables were supposed to
adults
save
should
you.
not have
but
been that ridiculous back in
Yeah.
the day. But hey, we did it.
So earthquake, tornado,
I think the
crawl
only-
up into a ball.
Yeah, crawl up into a ball
Crawl into a ball.
underneath the table.
Get under the desk.
Whatever
That's
natural disaster it is,
Yeah.
just crawl into a ball.
Yeah.
Because that desk will save you from the roof falling.
Yeah, from the roof falling
Busting
on
you
your
in the
head.
head.
That's it.
Right.
We had the solar eclipse, which is awesome. So,
I'm tired of this church.
Yeah.
were you a part of that? Did you
Well,
start this?
somebody gave me some glasses
Yeah,
at work.
okay,
So
okay.
we allowed students to go out and look at it.
Experience.
And I was out there and I put the glasses on. I said, "Oh wow!" And then I was, it was over.
All right,
It was over.
what we having for lunch today?
We only got like 50% or something like
51%.
that.
Yeah.
We had a
So,
partial.
yeah.
Right.
I imagine had we been back at home in Cincinnati, it would have been
You'd have saw
super
more.
dark and
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
things. But for us, it was very lackluster.
Yeah.
It was just bright.
Yeah, I was just
I
like,
watched it on YouTube.
Did you? Okay, we watched
Same-
it on YouTube.
same view.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
It
show
was
me
the
a
same
picture of
view.
the total
Yeah.
eclipse. And I'd be
Did
like,
you see? Did you see there's all these different memes about the eclipse, but my favorite was somebody. It was a tortilla on the table.
Oh, with the
And
avocado.
the avocado moving in front of it. Yeah, that was
Just like
hilarious.
it though.
I was like,
that's
an avocado tortilla.
I said, but you know what?
Yeah,
that
hilarious.
looks very accurate. So
It was
I said,
hilarious.
you know what? I like it.
Now, one thing that was true about it is I was on the Zoom call with them, and my cell phone. They said that it would affect cell phone reception, and my cell phone was acting up.
Really?
during
Yeah,
that.
we were trying to have a conference call, and Jameen just kept cutting out. And I'm like, what's going on? He claims that
It was during the time. It was like from 10 to 12,
I
right?
believe it.
We had our Zoom call. No, yeah, from like 11 to 12 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Very cool.
Who set that Zoom call up? That was poor planning.
It's every
okay.
time.
So you
know
gotta
what
do
I'm
it.
saying? But so
You
we
gotta
had
do
to
it.
do
The
it.
same time
Yeah.
every week.
You know,
Yeah.
we were just like, can you just go sit down somewhere else? Can you
Right.
run? Like, what is happening?
you run?
Because we can't
You
keep
want
doing
to-
this. Yeah.
I'm trying to get
Just trying to, yeah.
But you know, it came, you know, with all kind of stuff. We always get this
Dead fish in the sea.
Yeah. But you get like these conspiracy theorists, like the world is gonna end. This is it.
Now wait a minute now. Nah, I got my fair share of conspiracy.
We do not want to hear about your doomsday prepping. This is about
You got to
kickstart.
doomsday prep.
No.
Things happen.
No. I mean, sure.
Well, we're still here, and
Okay.
the eclipse was it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. We're still here. It didn't happen.
Die. We
Yeah.
didn't die. So I feel good about life.
Oh, my goodness.
But you didn't.
Listen.
You didn't look at it though.
The only thing we got prepped right now was we got a whole bunch of condiments in the refrigerator. That's it. So if anybody needs,
Run out of ketchup.
we will not run out of ketchup,
That's what
mustard,
she
mayonnaise,
knows. I got
Miracle
you.
Whip,
You guys-
barbecue
I got
sauce.
stuff going
You got
That's
some
all
of
we got up in there.
them army like bags in the basement, the bucket.
Generators. All
Does have a
Yes.
generator now.
Distilled water.
We use it for marketing. I don't know, but anywho. But this has been fun.
This has been amazing. I'm so glad that you guys invited me. In the home with the Willises.
At home with the Willises.
With the Willises. This was so amazing. Like,
Yes.
And when Jen texted me, I was like, "Yep." When
Yeah.
Tuesday, yep, I'll be there.
Right,
I'll be
right.
there. Like, yep, I got kids to see. You know,
Yeah.
people's lives needs to be changed.
Of course. But you're going to
You at
stop
home
it for
with
the
the
Willis
Willis.
to come to the Willis
Willises.
house. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's all
yeah.
we needed.
If lives aren't changed by that, then that's their fault. Right?
Exactly.
So I came to hang out with you guys, and so thankful that you invited me into your home.
Thank you so much.
To talk about this topic that is so precious.
Yeah.
In mental health. Thank you for being advocates in your family and outside of your family. Thank you for your referrals and your love, and I appreciate y'all so much.
Cool.
We appreciate you. But don't be trying to take over our podcast. Like, that was a little too good.
Stay tuned for next. It'll be At Home with the
It'll be
Willises
good.
and Keith.
Oh, wow. Well, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
All of Keith Stark's information is right down below.
Yes.
But tell us what you thought was your favorite part of this episode. Maybe you had an aha moment. We had a whole bunch of them. But we want to know what they were. So go ahead and put it in the comments below. And again, thank you so much.
You know, I don't do a lot of YouTube stuff. So, like, you keep talking about these comments and links below,
That's right.
and
That's
I'm
right.
looking for them.
no,
but
yeah. They down there below. See
Yeah.
it? You see it? It's right there.
Do you see it?
I
Oh,
definitely see it.
They see it.
Yeah.
They see it. So
too.
just point down there.
You see
And
it.
then there it is, right
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
I guess I see it now, too.
That's it. There you go. There you go. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next time.
Amazing.